Filming YouTube videos always makes me think of doing like Zoom interviews or like work meetings, because it's like business on the top, party on the bottom. Get your head out of the gutter. Hi, hello, how are you? If you're new here, my name is Alex, and if you are coming back, we are best friends, and I appreciate you for sticking around. I know I've been away for a month. I needed to take a break. I honestly kind of feel like I still need a break, but I also still wanted to put content out there for you guys. So here we are. What have I been up to lately? I graduated, so that was fun. I went to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show with my friends. It was like a live performance / screening of the movie, and one of my friends, he's from England and he's never seen the movie before, so it was a fun time and he really enjoyed it. Didn't do much reading, but I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, a lot of like nonfiction. I also saw a fangirl picture show screening of Twilight, which was hosted by Carly and her comedy partner Mare, and that was a really fun time. So because I love consumerism and it's that time of the year, I thought I would give you like a bookish literary gift guide kind of thing for those people in your life that like to read or want to get into reading. I have all kinds of recommendations set up, and I'm sure you will find something for you / someone you love or hate. I don't know what you're into. So the first book we have here is a book that I never see anything about on any of the bookish social media worlds, but I have recommended it a couple of times. This is for like your literary friend, okay? Someone that wants to expand their mind and get in touch with an author that has very lyrical writing, and that's Travelers by Helen Habilla. I have recommended this a couple of times. It is a very, very good book. I read it about 2 years ago, and I still think about it quite often. It follows this Nigerian scholar who moves to Berlin with his wife, who just won like a fellowship. She got placement for an art fellowship in Berlin, and it's about his experience meeting other Black people living in Europe, and it talks a lot about like the African diaspora in Europe, specifically within Berlin. He also meets a lot of individuals that are refugees or immigrants, so it's like a really interesting dynamic within like a very wide cast of characters. So if you like unique narration styles, this is perfect. If you like interesting premises for a novel, this is perfect. Then I have a book that I'm currently reading, and it is Indigenous Toronto, which is edited by a series of different people, and it's filled with like essays and excerpts written by a variety of different Indigenous peoples, mostly from Toronto, but a lot of them are people that were like born elsewhere within this country and moved to Toronto. But it's all about the stories that carry this place. And this is perfect for the friend of yours that is curious about their own city. If you're from Toronto, I know most of you are American, but I just have to talk about this book. It is also really good if you want to learn a piece of history that you might otherwise not have come across. I learned a lot about not just the cultural history, but the geographic history of Toronto, which was really, really interesting. I guess it makes sense, but I didn't know that like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, Toronto was just surrounded by like 2-kilometer tall ice mountain things. So that was crazy. I also like got introduced to a lot of authors and playwriters and musicians who are Indigenous peoples from Toronto. So it was really interesting to read that. I'm almost finished. This has like 98 reviews or something crazy like that on Goodreads. So y'all better go pick this up, add it to your list, give it to your friends. Highly, highly recommend. It's very good. Now we have something for the friend that likes something weird, long, and also kind of historical fiction-y. And that's Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. This follows a 60s like psychedelic rock band and their like story of coming together as a band, as well as their experience of becoming famous, going on tour, making music. This is perfect for anyone that likes alternating narration styles, unreliable narrators, weird stuff going on, ghosts. This book has a little bit of everything. It sucks you in and you kind of get stuck in the world for a while there. She is thick, so this is for people that either want to get into long books or just love long books. And I don't love long books, so it really takes a lot for me to say that I like one. Okay, now we have a book for your horror bestie. The bestie that likes to read horror. The bestie that likes to get scared. The bestie that likes to stay up all night reading a book, mostly because they can't shut off the lights, but also because it's good. And that's Terror by Erica McKean. I recently recommended this. I recently read this. I found this at Little Ghost Books, which is the first horror bookstore in Canada, and it's located in Toronto. And I just saw this cover and my friend was like, this is a great cover, you should get this. And I was like, I totally agree with you. I'm gonna buy this off the basis of the cover. And I haven't read much horror, but I have been getting into the genre lately. And this was very, very good. I highly recommend this for anyone that is curious to get into the genre or who wants to give something to someone that does enjoy horror. There's a lot of absurdism, there are monsters, there are unreliable characters. It's a lot of like kind of going mad alongside the character type narration style. It's freaky. And it really, like, it's like very unsettling for a while, and then you get scared out of your mind while you like near the end of it. So highly recommend that one. Okay, now for a recommendation for the short story girlies. The people that don't want to sit down and read an entire book in one sitting, and that's fine. They would rather read a shorter story in smaller pieces throughout a longer period of time. Or you just like short story anthologies. And that's Bloodletting and Miraculous Cures by Vincent Lam. So this is a series of short stories, all kind of interconnected with one another. And Vincent Lam is actually a doctor. I think he teaches at the University of Toronto, or he used to, but he is a doctor in Toronto. And he's also an author. So this is for those of you that like medical fiction. Is that a thing? I'm assuming that's a thing. A lot of, again, surrealism in these stories, like a lot of absurd things happen. It's a very interesting anthology of short stories. I'm usually not one for short story anthologies. I don't know why. It's something about them. I have like less patience for them for whatever reason, but I do really love an anthology where all the stories are entwined with each other. I love the storytelling. I love that all the narration styles were very different from one another. I thought it was fantastic. And this is also a great cover, so highly recommend. Then a little something for my unhinged girlies, because you gotta do what you gotta do. I want to recommend Good Girl by Anna Fitzpatrick. I don't have my copy with me right now because I'm lending it out to a friend that reads a quarter of a book a year. So I'm not gonna have it in my possession for a while. But this book came out this year, so this is for those of you that want unhinged women, that want Canadian classic Toronto fiction, that want debut authors, for those of you that read Rookie as a teenager, okay? I love this book. Anna is previously a writer for Rookie, and right now she's a freelance author, and this is her first novel. It is a raunchy sex book, as she refers to it, and it follows a main character who is like exploring her sexual fantasies while also exploring this like punky girl magazine that had like a very brief stint but was very impactful while it existed. She's working in a bookstore. She has a friend that's as raunchy as she is. She is besties with her coworker. It's a good fun time. I cannot stop recommending it. It comes out in January in the States of next year, so look out for that. I will link like a pre-order thingy down below. But for my Canadian friends, this is already out, okay? So go pick it up. You have no excuse. Give it to all your friends. Trust me, This is a hilarious book, incredibly well written, so many lines where I was like, okay, I see you, Anna. You're reading my diary. I see you. Now we have a recommendation for the friend that loves the classics, or someone that wants to explore the classics but doesn't want to use their brain too much. I don't really read classics very often. This is my entire classics shelf, and I haven't read most of them. But I really like this book. It was very easy to read, very atmospheric, and that's The Greengage Summer by Rumer Godden. It is about a bunch of children that go on vacation in northern France, and I think their mother gets sick and she immediately goes to the hospital to get better. But these kids are just like running around in a luxury hotel in the north of France, and they eat a bunch of greengages, which are these like yellow plum thingies. And then there's a little mystery sprinkled in there. Really good, very quick read. It is very, very short. And it's just a good fun time. So if you want to look like you're smart enough for classics, highly recommend this. Gift this to any of your pretentious friends. And now a book for the friend that's curious about science or just has a curious mind in general. And that's Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So if you know me, you know that I love breeding sweetgrass. I thought it was very good. I love plants. I really, really love plants. So that just like, it really spoke to me as a biologist, and I loved reading it. So I was like, of course I'm gonna read Kimmerer's other book. Of course. So I picked this up. I listened to the audiobook version of it, and it's essentially just like all about moss. So if you wanted to learn about moss, or if you have a friend that is just curious about random things, you know, those like Wikipedia rabbit hole friends, this is perfect for them because it's like a very niche specific topic. And again, Kimmerer has the most emotional, lyrical writing for someone that writes scientifically I have ever seen. Usually scientific work is so dry, but this is prose, baby. This is prose. It's so good. It is so short. Any of you that want to learn something, also I would just recommend Kimmerer's work in general. Just like give it to all your friends, make them all read it. I thought I had more books, but that was the last one. I hope you liked this video. Sorry I'm so messy. I need to reorganize my space, my life, my brain. You know how it is. Anyway, that's it, that's all. Hope you got some good recommendations out of this. Hope you got some good gift ideas out of this. I personally love gifting people books and handmade things. That is just my favorite thing to do. This year I made a bunch of zines and playlists for the homies, so that is that. That's it. That's all for this video. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. I usually post every Sunday at 11 EST. 11 in the morning, to be clear. And let me know if there's anything you would like to see in my channel in the coming year, because I love to hear from you guys. I love taking your suggestions. You guys have the best ideas, and sometimes it's hard to come up with something interesting and unique when it comes to recommending the same 5 books over and over again. Anyway, bye-bye.